everyone, and welcome to this video dedicated to distribution and IATA's new distribution capability. My name is Stanislava Yurdanova, and I lead the marketing efforts for PROS Airline e-commerce solutions. In the next 10 minutes, industry veteran Boyan Manev will join me to answer key questions around NDC distribution. You will also learn how NDC helps airlines become better retailers in the travel space. Hi Boyan, can you help bust the myths and clarify what IATA's new distribution capability is and what it is not?
Hi Stanislava, my name is Boyan Manev. I'm the principal in our PROS travel organization. I'm very happy to be with you and all of our viewers and talk in the next 10 minutes about NDC. NDC was launched in 2012 as a unified XML-based standard for the messaging. So the idea of NDC is to allow the airlines, the travel companies like OTAs, tour operators, and the GDSs and the final travelers to communicate better between themselves using one and the same standard. NDC is not just flip of a switch. It doesn't mean that if an airline decides to adopt NDC and have those standards, then they can automatically become better retailers. The airlines, they need to build and change their internal strategies of the direct distribution. It is very, very important for them to understand that if they implement the NDC mindset, this will allow them to communicate better with the customers, as well as with the agencies and other intermediaries. The most important thing is that the NDC will give the airlines the chance to control the offering and who sees what through what channel.
Great. So how does NDC help airlines and the travel industry in general? What is this going to look like?
Unifying the messaging standards between the different parties will shorten the entire implementation timelines and will allow the airlines to reach to as many as possible direct channels out there in a much shorter time. On the other hand, the airlines also will be able to rethink their strategies in terms of retail. Because right now with NDC, one of the ideas is to allow the airlines to receive as much as possible information about who is searching, who is looking to travel with them, and based on that input to be able to create the best offer to be consumed by that traveler. Also, NDC will help the airlines in terms of focusing on the customer aspect, on the user interface as well, because with the unification and the standardization of the messages, now the airlines will be able to distribute their offers through different distribution channels, not just and show them to the customer, so customer can have a different experience. They can see now what the meal will be if they purchase it. They will be able to see what the cabin looks like. They will be able to see what the seat looks like, and etc. So it is going to be I would say 360-degree help for the airline from obviously product standpoint, so the airlines will be able to build the products for the customers, but also from how those products are distributed, shown, and visualized for the travelers.
That's great. So there are a lot of opportunities behind NDC and direct distribution. where can airlines identify the value from that?
We all know that in the outside world, outside of the airline, the retailers, they do control much more of the content, the price, and how they communicate with their buyers. I think with where the industry is going and with NDC now, the airlines will be in a better position also to do so. The airlines will be able to go after the direct channels themselves, and right now, I think that the airline will change the way they're thinking about the direct distribution, because their airline.com will not be the only distribution, the direct distribution channel that they will go after. We're talking about other distribution channels like meta search engines, like online travel agencies, like aggregators, and even the GDSs may become in a way a distribution channel for the airlines, as long as the airline is in control of the offer, as long as the airline is the one who always replies to a request that comes from the traveler or through the intermediary. Also, another thing that we should keep in mind is that this will also allow the airline to reduce the cost of sale, because right now the airline will be the one negotiating directly with the suppliers, and with NDC we believe that the airlines will be in a position to negotiate better deals with the intermediaries, because the airlines will be the ones that will have the technology and the capabilities to create those offers on their end. The other thing to keep in mind is when you, as an airline, you control your distribution strategy, you also are in a position to decide when to upsell, to whom to upsell, how to upsell. So all these different steps in the buying process now are in the control of the airline. So they're the ones who will make the decision in terms of their sales strategy. Also, not having that many intermediaries will allow the airlines also to create a much better offers in terms of delivering those offers to the market faster and with a better accuracy. And finally, I would say that one of the most important benefits of NDC and this unification of the standard is the fact that the airlines will be able to move from more static content to more dynamic content. And by dynamic, I mean that now with NDC input, if you are able to provide the airline with an information about the customer, who is the customer, profile of the customer, more information about it, then the airline will be able to create more dynamically offers based on this request, not even based on the customer, but based on the request, because you may have one and the same person coming from different channels, and based on that information, the airline will be able to create the offer that is valid for that customer at that moment of time.
That's great. So if I have to summarize, there is direct and better control over content that is more dynamic, more personalized, at the same time scalability for all those direct channels for the airlines, and then operational efficiency because of the reduced cost of distribution, and really opportunity to upsell better to the end consumer.
Correct. This is exactly right. And I think the airlines should think about the fact that with the right approach, with the right strategy, and the right technology, they will be able to control the cost and content on their own. This is the most important thing for the airlines to keep in mind when they make decision to go direct. The flexibility, the control, the cost aspect of this, the revenue aspect of this, your sales strategy now is in your hands, is in the hands of the airline.
So what are the NDC leaderboard airlines doing successfully in this direction that other airlines can now take into consideration?
NDC leaderboards airlines contains 20 of the biggest airlines in the world, which has made a decision that by end of 2020, 20% of all of their indirect bookings will be shifted towards NDC channels. And we can see that there are pioneers in this space, the likes of Lufthansa Group, who are pushing a lot of their direct sales outside of the airline.com to happen through the NDC channels. They have been pioneering this for the last 3 or 4 years, and now we can see results where they start getting quite a lot of direct bookings coming from different distribution channels like travel agencies, tour operators, meta search engines directly to them via the NDC channel. Another example is British Airways, who are also expanding their footprint in this area, connecting as many as possible travel agents to the NDC channel that they've built. We have the likes of American Airlines, United, as well, Air Canada, that are working on this front, Emirates. So more and more airlines are focusing on this, and the fact that the big airlines like BA and Lufthansa Group are showing the path and are actually showing good results is very encouraging.
This is great for the industry. So as an IT provider, PROS is IATA NDC level 2 and level 4 capable. How can PROS help airlines with direct distribution, NDC, and retail?
Yeah, it's a great question. One of the biggest strengths of PROS as a company is the fact that we have great products around the offer creation. And offer creation is one of the key components of this mind change set when we're talking about NDC. If an airline can create the offer correctly based on who is searching, based on the channel, to deliver this offer, irrespective of the fact that there might be a lot of transactions and hits, so the airline should not bother about the cost of those, but at the same time to deliver a very personalized and at the same time offer with a high quality, then this is what is extremely important for the success of the NDC initiative for each and every airline. And PROS, with our pricing and shopping capabilities, we help the airlines to do so. We have customers, the likes of British Airways, who are using today our solution to distribute their content through their travel agencies and TMCs. Air is another example that are using PROS, and we have actually 3 or 4 other big airlines that will go live quite soon with our NDC pricing and shopping capabilities for the direct distribution. Also, the other thing that we are very proud of is our continuous pricing, our dynamic pricing capabilities, which is another important feature in this direct distribution in this NDC world, because now the airlines are not any longer pushed to use only the 26 letters in ATPCO to price their fares. with PROS Dynamic Pricing that is live with several customers already, both for individual passengers and for group sales. We have proven to the world that there are ways for the airlines to do this continuous pricing and increase their revenues without kind of relying that much on the 26 RBDs that are out there in ATPCO. And finally, what I would say is that with our retail product, PROS is the first company that has the capabilities to consume NDC APIs and help the airlines to build a booking engine and user experience on top of those. This is extremely important for the airlines to understand this, because right now with their NDC APIs, they can really target different channels, including their .com. Again, PROS, we already are working with several airlines on a couple of projects that are going to be live in the next few months, which will use the NDC APIs, and we have built on top of it our booking engine and UI UX capabilities. So in total, I would say that we as a company have one goal and one goal only, is to help the airlines to increase their revenues and have more happy customers and to be able to control their own fate by going out there and selling the content they want through all possible distribution channels.
So exciting new opportunities to drive better sales and really a better customer experience. Thank you, Boyan, for the video, and thanks everyone for watching. We hope these insights help you with your direct distribution and NDC strategies.